what I will show you now is a basic histogram. On the left we have a table of information where we've got 7 plants that have a height of less than or equal to 2 centimeters but bigger than 0 centimeters. Here 14 plants with a height of less than or equal to 4 centimeters but bigger than 2 centimeters, and so on. But for short, I'll just say 14 plants between 2 and 4. Now, whenever you come across histograms, the first thing you want to do is draw a triangle, which I'll show you on the left-hand side of your screen. Frequency, density, class width. What we'll do now is for each row in our table, I'm going to calculate the class width. So what I will do is now create an extra column and call that the class width, CW class width. So how do I work at the class width? Well, you have 2 and 0. The difference between 2 and 0, 2 take away 0 is 2. Next one, you've got 4 take away 2, so it's got a class width of 2. 8 take away 4, 16 take away 8, 8. So those are the class widths for each of the rows. What I want to do now is work out the frequency density, FD. So for that I'll have a separate column. So how do I work out the frequency density? Well, let's work on the first row. So if you look at the screen on the left hand side, look at my triangle. So we've got a frequency of 7 and a class width of 2. So to work out frequency density, you do 7 divided by 2, which is 3.5. Next one. We got a frequency of 14 and a class width of 2. So if you look at the screen on the left hand side, we've got 14 for the frequency, class width 2. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. So the frequency density is 7. And then I can do the next calculations very quickly. So imagine yourself substituting these values into the triangle. You've got 16 divided by 4. 8 divided by 8 is 1. So these are my frequency densities. Now if you look at the graph on the right hand side, the y-axis, the vertical column, represents frequency density. So we've not got no need for these numbers anymore. So frequency density, and along here we've got the heights of the plants. And it begins at 0. Right, so looking at the frequency density, the biggest number there we've got is 7. So we need to label the axis. So how do we do this? Right. So you need to plan for this. I'm going to call that 1, 2. So that's frequency density labeled, and now I want to label the x-axis. Now the heights start at 0 and goes up to 16, so I need to plan for this. So I will say each one of these, I'll call that 1, What I need to do now is look at the first row. The first row, okay, what I will do before I carry on is just tidy up my screen a little bit. Right, so looking at the first row, that one there, it's got a class width of 2. It starts from 0, it starts from a height of 0 up to 2. And it's got a frequency density of 3.5. So the width of the bar is going to go from 0 to 2. And it's going to rise to 3.5. So that's the first one done. Next one. It's going from 2 to 4. Right, 2 up to 4. So the bar is going to go from 2 to 4 and it's going to rise up to 7. Right, please use a ruler for this. Right, that one's done. Next, it's going from 4 to 8. So this bar is going to be a little bit thicker. So 4 to 8, and it's got a height of 4. The frequency density is going to be 4. So from 4 to 8, and I'm going to rise it up to 4, a frequency density of 4. Right, last one. It's going from 8 to 16. And it's got a height of 1. So 8 to 16 all the way there you go, that one's done. So here you have it. I've got my histogram. One of the common mistakes is for people to use frequency on the y-axis. What you shouldn't do is use a frequency. Please use the frequency density. And that's what we actually worked out in our triangle.